salutation to the neighbors. Okay, here we are again at Burns Brothers Performance. This will be the official final episode of the Top Gun 55 restoration, here with George Burns.
Yep.
On today's episode, well, let's kick it off. Let's go ahead and get started. It's a hot summer day here in the Northwest.
Pretty warm out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
On today's episode, you're going to see this car behind me on the road. You're going to get in-car gear rowing action with George at the wheel.
Yep.
What else are we going to do? We're going to meet the owner.
Yes, we are. We're going to hear the history of the car a little bit,
Nice.
how it came about in the movie, and where, how it got to where it is today.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you've seen the restoration. We're going to hear from the owner, get his reaction about the car, and find out what he's going to do with it from here. You'll see in the video, it is very, very roadworthy. It will do all the things.
And we should note that we actually already test drove the car. Then we came back and had beers. So,
that's right.
Mom,
Yep.
we were good.
Yep, Mom's at home, Mom's
Yep.
in heaven. We got the beers open after we did the drive.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we're good boys.
yes, the amateur video editing will ensue, later on. But
Correct.
anyway,
Okay.
that's going to be today's episode. We'll see you guys in a bit.
All right.
All right, good evening again. We are here at Burns Brothers Performance. We've got George Burns here on the left and Brian Burns, the owner of the 55 Chevy, on your right. Let's kick off this video like we usually do. Gentlemen,
Cheers.
Cheers to all my brothers at arms.
Very nice. All right, so this is the owner of the 55 Chevy. We've been documenting on YouTube the restoration that was done by George here on our left. And Brian has the whole story. This is his car. We've already heard a few good stories about it. You want to talk a little bit about how you acquired this thing? What was it like when you got it?
Well, I acquired it in San Diego in '79. I was actually looking for a 55, 6, or 7. Ran across the nickel here in Mira Mesa, in the suburb of San Diego. And I found it for $450. It was pretty beat up. And it was a previous race car.
Yeah.
The shock was sticking through the trunk. I didn't think it had an engine in it, actually.
Now by '79 standards, which is
Yeah.
a $10,000 car by today's standards?
Probably.
Yeah.
And you said there was a 57 Chevy that
Actually, a friend of mine, John McDowell, he had a 57 Chevy. He raced at the Carlsbad Raceway, and it was a 2-door station wagon. It was called Moby Dick. So I ran into him, and he said, well, there's a 55 down the street. So when I bought this car, the original color was black and white, and then it was orange, Chevy orange color. And then after that, it was like a marina blue when I bought it. It had black American racing rims on it, similar to that. But it had a motor and a driveline in it. I didn't think it had it because the car, the way it was sitting, it didn't look like it had it. So I bought it for $450 and I drove it to work, fixed it up, drove it. And if anybody was at Miramar, between '79 to '95, saw this car, because I was my entire career mostly was at Miramar. And then I finished my tour at Virginia Beach. I did 30 years. So
Wow. Thank you for your service.
A lot of the people at Miramar knew the car. And then how it became to be in the movie is I was an F-14 guy in different squadrons. And then I was up for shore duty. I ended up going to Top Gun. And anybody at Top Gun at the time saw the car because I drove it all the time. And his dad, my brother, and I did the work on it back in... paid in '83, I believe.
Yeah.
I was on Carl Vinson, so I was deployed, came back, and the car was painted burgundy, and that's the color that was a car that he had just previously painted. And we just wanted something different because there's a lot of red and white 55s,
So painted in '83, you think?
'83. I just trying to time it between deployments.
Right.
Because I made a lot of them, and I'm trying to figure the time frame, and I think that was
The picture I have of me sanding it is August '83.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's about right.
And George Sr. did the paint work.
He did.
Yeah.
And a couple of friends of mine, sailors, helped strip the car down. We didn't do a lot of, there wasn't a lot of body repair because this stuff wasn't available. But what we did was, the three paint jobs that were on the car were stripped off.
Yeah.
And it was, it had to be done. And I was coming back from deployment, so we primed it, painted it, and it was done. And that was a daily driver. I drove the car to work. I lived down in Spring Valley, so I drive it to work. But that's what it was. It was a driver.
Yeah.
It had a 350 with a Super T10 and a stock rear end on it.
You were talking about the exhaust. You said there are hooks on the exhaust so you could uncap it easy.
Like I said, when I bought the car, it was a Pacific Beach car. Some guy ran it out of the gas station down there. And the exhaust system was set up just so it had 4 bolts and a hook on it. So when you went to Carlsbad, was San Diego where we used to race it, it was already set up. The exhaust system was basically a pipe, mufflers all the way to the back to the axle, and then it pointed down. And all it was hooked on. So it was quick, and back in the day, I had a 55 pickup. We used the pickup to tow the car there. So, and then unhook the trailer and run the truck. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun at Carlsbad. It's closed down now, but it was a great time.
And so how did it come to be in the movie?
Well, like I said, I was at Miramar. I was an F-14 guy. I was up and down the flight line, VF-124, VF-111, VF-51, VF-191. And then there was, in between there, shore duty. So some of the shore duty I did was at 124, was the Fleet Rag outfit. And then Top Gun, an offer came to go to Top Gun, and I went there. I was, at the time, I was first class, petty officer. So I was a Mustang. I went in as an E1 and I retired as an 04. So I was a chief. I made chief petty officer in 9 years. Then I was a warrant officer, 2, 3, 4. And then from warrant, I went line officer. So my career, a lot of it was at Miramar. But the shore duty part of that was, I did a tour at Top Gun. So they were doing the filming of the movie, and the producer saw a picture of the car on my desk, and I was on a det in Yuma at the time. With Top Gun, we had a class going through. At the same time, they were doing all this filming. So what I did was, he called and said, can you make the car available? I love the car. And that was a Friday, the det ended. And I'd say, well, when is it? He said, tomorrow morning. So he said, we're gonna have it here at Miramar. So the filming of the volleyball scene was at Miramar. They basically set up a sand pit, put up some nets, and said, this is where we want it because of the lighting for the sunset. But it started early. It was an all-day event where they filmed that. So I showed up with the car, and they had all these cars lined up behind those bleachers, and they moved everything out of there. He said, that's the car I want. So I just happened to be in the squadron. He loved the car. It was burgundy with black wheels. It's in the background. And there's a bunch of guys in the squadron that are in that scene. I'm in the last
And
scene.
you're in it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the last scene. You know, they always tried to get anybody that was helping. And they said in the squadron when they were filming, can you get people to come in? A lot of people, we didn't know. We were just doing our job. So if we ended up in it, you know, like if they were doing flight line scenes or something, so be it. But like they came in on a Saturday and they said, if anybody wants to come in, well, most people we were busy. Top Gun was running the class through and everybody was busy. So we accommodated them as much as we could, but it didn't really interfere with what the Navy was doing, and we were sending the class through. VF-51 and 111 was part of that, and a lot of their airplanes are in it too.
Yeah. And you said, how do you get in Top Gun? You got to have good hair?
Yeah, you gotta have good hair to get in Top Gun. People used to say, gee, how do you get in Top Gun? It's, all you need is good hair.
Nice.
And all my Top Gun bros will understand that.
Yeah. And so you mentioned, Kenny Loggins, there's some tie-in with Kenny Loggins. He rode in the car or something?
So after the movie, there was a change of command at Top Gun. Kenny Loggins was invited down, and he did an album shoot with his manager, and there was another model with him. And when Kenny came down, you know, they asked, can you pick him up at the airport? So there's an airport close by Miramar, it's Montgomery Field. So I brought the car over there, and basically I was his host for the day to get him where he needed to be to do his shoots, but they wanted the car in his shoots too. I don't know whatever happened to if they ever used any of them, or I should call Kenny and ask him.
Right, yeah. Ring him up, yeah.
But yeah, he probably remember that. So.
Yeah.
But I hosted him for the day. They had, they do the normal change of command, dog and pony. They do the Scooby Snacks over at the O Club, and he attended all that.
Nice.
And then I brought him back, and he flew back on a helo.
Yeah. So I mean, I know you just got here and you were on a long drive, so than's for doing this. But
yeah, it was a long run.
What do you think? You've seen under the hood, you've seen under the car. What do you think?
You know, look at it.
Did a little test drive. We haven't burnt any rubber yet.
Well, not yet.
Yeah.
It's like a brand new car. I mean, it's everything's tight on it. You know, before you grabbed the gears, did a lot of shaking. But she was a runner then. It's a little faster now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, that's why my nephew, you know, he was picked to do this. I knew that he would do a good job, and he did. It was above what I expected.
Yep. It's been fun to follow this. He really did do a nice job.
Well, he's committed to it. I mean, he you know, between him and I talking about it when his dad passed, it was, you know, something we wanted to do. So.
Yeah. No, that's good.
And, you know, we kind of helped each other through it. And, you know, he needed to get some things done with his project, so it worked out well.
Yeah. No, good family project. So now, I mean, you're going to get it. You're going to bring it back home. What are you going to do next?
Well, can't take the cars back because it's closed down now. No, I'll just probably enjoy taking the car shows. You know, my other brothers have cars, so we'll take it out. And there's been a couple people that are interested and invited to different events. So
yeah, very cool. All right. Well, thank you for doing the interview. What else we got? I'm out of questions.
I don't know, man.
Well, let me try to think of a little bit more history of the car. But,
yeah.
We back in the day. I mean, we drove these cars. You know, we drove them. We take them to shows, but it was never really about trophies or anything like that. I mean, now it's kind of obvious the car is beautiful, but the idea was that we were together. You know, pack up the kids. He was just a little guy. You know, when we go to shows, my mom and dad would even come. So
Yeah.
it was that's what it really is about. It's sharing the, you know, the car theme and everything else, and being with family and doing things like that. So.
Yeah. Hey, George, before we close out, you want to roll up the window?
Sure.
Let's check
So I
this
will
out.
add that I've had several people ask me, so like your dad and uncle built that car to be in the movie? No, that wasn't the case. The car was built, painted, all that stuff, and then it came along to be in the movie. So
Very nice.
that is the sticker. So I replaced the glass on the car, and Brian had those stickers in the window, and I found a company online that reproduced the sticker about 95% accurate, I'd say.
Yeah.
So that's the closest thing I could find. It's probably a
Well, I
trademark thing.
probably have some stickers in there.
I figured you'd have the legit ones, but
Yeah.
I wanted these to be on the car when he came and showed up and to
Yeah.
see him on there. So
Very
that
nice.
is the Top Gun
Not a big
Fighter Weapons School.
Not a big sticker guy, but I mean, it fits the
Yeah.
character of the car, and most people recognize the car. Anybody, like I said, who was at Miramar will know this car.
Yeah.
You know, the wheels are going to be black the way they were before. When I got these, they didn't have that option like they now, where they're grayed out and they were black. Because I always liked the black, because you just don't see a lot of burgundy 55 Chevys with black wheels. So that's
Right.
what made it different. And back in the day, it's something I always liked.
I told him, he
We-
said the wheels have to be black on the center. I said, they can be black when it goes back to San Diego.
No problem.
I
'Cause
want
we-
to see them polished.
Yeah.
Because we like the polish. Now
But
we're
that's
gonna
okay.
we're
Well,
gonna
you
swing
know-
we're gonna swing around and take a quick look.
There they are.
There's the old
That's
wheels
them.
right there.
That's them.
Those are the original
That's what
ones.
it will look like.
Yep.
When you all see it cruising around San Diego, it will have black centers on the wheels. But when it's in Oregon,
Right.
they'll be polished.
Polished.
You know, because we only get like 2 good months of weather around here, so we have to keep our wheels polished.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. You got to show it off.
All right.
All right, you guys. Well,
I
thank
just
you.
want to tell everybody thank you for, following along. It's been a pretty emotional journey. So,
Yep.
Yep.
George has been working day and night on this thing. I've been trying to get his wife Niki on the video, or his daughter, and they both refuse. So
Yeah,
maybe
they're stubborn, you
maybe
know.
the next project
Yeah,
if he
who
does
knows?
one.
But
Yeah.
anyways, thank you all for following along. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Take care,
Take
everybody.
care.